Hey assemblers, my name is OREEN Cohen. I am a sculptor and I like to work with metal. I like to bend it, cut it, grind it, weld it, and shape it into different forms using the lines and sometimes filling those shapes in with glass or colored film to create a stained glass effect. So during this time at home, I designed a little stained glass studio and I've been teaching myself the stained glass process. And I thought it'd be fun to show you how to make faux stained glass, fake stained glass, using materials that you have at home like Elmer's glue and food coloring. So let's start the project. For this project, you will need a Ziploc bag, or you can use wax paper, and you'll need a sheet of paper, a marker, something to draw with, plastic container lid, something to use as a paint palette, food coloring or acrylic paint, Elmer's glue, and something to mix your paint with. Say I'm going to be using plastic utensils. You can use a popsicle stick, a Q-tip. You're going to use scissors, and optional is a glue gun and glue sticks. So I will show you how to use those after we do the first project. Okay, so we're going to start by taking our Ziploc bag. I've got a freezer bag, or you can use wax paper. You can even use a plastic grocery bag, but you'll really want to flatten that out. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut the top. If you're using a Ziploc bag, you can cut the top of the slider piece of the Ziploc off. So then you can open up the bag and cut off the sides. You can just slice the edge right off. Okay, so then you can open up your Ziploc bag, and that is going to be our base material that we are going to put the glue on. When the glue is all dry, it's easy to peel off. The next step is we're going to take our sheet of paper and our marker, and we're going to draw out whatever our design is for our decal. So the difference between using either of these, the food coloring is transparent, which means light can go through it. So you'll have a little more of a see-through sort of quality to it. And the acrylic paint is opaque, so you would not be able to see light coming through it. It'll still be a colorful area. To mix your paint glue, use a drop of acrylic paint the size of about a pea, and then a spoonful of school glue. Same with the food coloring. Use about 1 to 2 drops of food coloring to a tablespoon of glue. As you continue working, if you need more, you can always mix up more paint. I'm going to be mixing up blue, red, and yellow, the 3 primary colors, so then I can mix up other colors of the rainbow like purple, green, and orange. When your paint is ready, we can move on to the next step. Make sure you put your plastic over top of your drawing so that it protects it from the glue and that we can trace the drawing with our glue. Scoop up your glue using your utensil and smear it over inside the lines of your drawing. Make sure you apply the glue very thick, especially along the edges of your drawing, so it'll be easier to peel off later. If you're having trouble with air bubbles or pockets where you can't fill in with glue, sometimes it helps to use your utensil and swirl the glue into place. If you're feeling comfortable with the process, you can start mixing the glue paint together and you can start playing with marbling techniques. Like I wanted some fluffy clouds with white and blue, so I drizzled in a little bit of white glue and used that as a transparent clear space. Sort of speckled that into my blue paint and swirled it in with my utensil. Let it air dry for about a day and a half. Peel off the dry decal like you would a fruit roll-up, peeling back the plastic gently. You'll see that one side shiny and one side is rough. The side that was against the plastic is shiny. Put a little bit of water on that side, and then now you can stick it up on the window. Make sure to press it down on all the edges to make sure it's really set. And there you go. You have your window decal. And this will not damage your windows at all. It will not leave any residue. You can just peel it off, re-wet it, and move it around anywhere you like. So I will show you the next version of the project where we will use lines to break up the colors and shapes using hot glue, or If you don't have a hot glue gun, you can use toilet paper tubes, string or wire that you can bend into closed shapes. If you're using hot glue, we're going to use the same process that we started with the drawing and laying the plastic over top. And the only thing that's different is we're going to be using the hot glue and outlining the shape of the drawing. And then once we're all done with that, we're going to let it cool off. And then you can use an acrylic paint, whatever color you'd like. I used black, and then paint over the hot glue lines. This will help to define those lines. Again, let your piece dry overnight. It'll probably take about a day and a half to dry fully. The hot glue melts to the plastic bag, so I chose to cut out my shape, and I poked a hole through the top and inserted a piece of string, knotted that up, and tied it to a small tree branch to make a hanging mobile. So I'm going to show you what you can do first if you do not have a hot glue gun at home. You can use a paper towel tube or the ring from a plastic jug, or you can use a piece of string, pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks. What we're trying to do with these materials is to build a little wall that we can fill in with our glue, and then we can use those to hang and use for our stained glass decals. Basically, the glue will stick to the sides of our rings, and this will become a little 3D stained glass piece. Another way you can use your toilet paper tubes is to cut them into thin slices. You can now bend, shape, or lay your pieces down in the arrangement that you want. Fill in your shapes with your paint glue. Make sure that the glue touches the edges or the walls of your shapes, and making sure that there are no open spots, so really layering it in thick. Then you can start to attach the pieces together by adding glue in between the shapes. So I got a little wild here and started painting outside of the shapes. I decided to take a piece of string and circle it around the area that I wanted the glue to stay inside. Filled in that space in between the flower and the string with a different color and made the sort of tie-dye effect with my paint. I played around with blending and marbling and splattering the glue into the areas to make some really neat effects. This version of the project takes a little longer to dry. I would give it about 2 days air dry, or about a day and a half or so using a fan. Peel off the artwork just like you would a fruit roll-up, peeling the plastic back slowly. And you're going to add a decent amount of water to the back shiny side again. And you're going to want to press a little harder against the window to make sure this really sticks. And that's it. That's all the variations that I've discovered. I hope you will play around with this technique and find some more alternatives to the project using materials that you can find at home.